Finally, we should talk a bit about the project change control process. As requirements evolve and grow during development, projects often exceed their planned schedules and budgets. Frankly, these plans aren't always based on a realistic understanding of the size and complexity of the requirements. And frequent requirements modifications just make the problem worse. To manage scope creep, you should begin with a clear statement of the project's business objectives, strategic vision, scope, limitations, success criteria, and expected product usage. Evaluate all proposed changes and requested features against this reference framework.
Creeping requirements include new functionality and changes that are presented after the project requirements have been baselined. The problem is not that requirements change, but that late changes have a big impact on work already performed. If every proposed change is approved, it might appear to project stakeholders that the project will never be completed. It's kind of like when my wife and I recently redid our kitchen. There were so many times during the process that I thought, oh, maybe it would be nice to also add this on or change this type of tile along with the counter. But for those changes to work, we would have had to start again from scratch. And not only would that have been a pain in the neck, it also wasn't in our budget.
Of course, some requirements evolution is legitimate or unavoidable. We know all too well that business processes, market opportunities, competing products, and technologies can change during the time it takes to develop a product. But uncontrolled scope creep, in which the project continuously incorporates new functionality without adjusting resources, schedule, or quality goods, has a harmful effect. A small modification here, an unexpected enhancement there, and soon the project has no hope of meeting the planned schedule. So you should evaluate every proposed requirement or feature against the business objectives, product vision, and product scope.
The most effective technique for controlling scope creep is being able to simply say no. Philosophies such as the customer is always right are fine in the abstract, but you pay a price for them. If you find it difficult to say no, try saying not now. At some point, you have to freeze the requirements for a specific release, or you will never complete it.
It's very rare to define the entire project up front. There might be outside forces that affect the project during its lifetime. For that reason, change is part of the project. It's important to have a process in place that's agreed upon by the client. Change control is the management of anything that wasn't in the original scope, requirements, schedule, or cost estimates of the project. It involves updating and maintaining the project documents and the resulting changes to quality, risk, cost, schedule, and so on. Change control includes adding new requirements based on new functionality that is needed, deleting requirements of features that have been canceled, fixing errors in the baseline document, and scheduled changes.
Submitting a change is done by using the change request form. It can be done by using a software form, such as issue tracking, that is part of the control management system. A change request should follow a mini requirements creating process and go through the stages that we described earlier.
The change request should contain the complete snapshot of the change. It needs to include the description of the change, the reason for the change, and an explanation of the benefits to be received from the change. Your requirements management software should be able to track all that information. It should also be classified as a new change or a correction to existing requirements. Send the change request over to the development team for analysis, time and cost estimation, and design. Pass it around to all other stakeholders who might be impacted by this particular change. It should then be approved and added to the development plan. When the process is done, be sure to update the requirements records in your requirements management software with the changes and notify all teams about the change.
This clip ends the requirements management section of the program. Next, we're going to learn how to estimate and manage task schedule. Stay tuned.